Hello, welcome to Friday Night Yoga. It's Erin. We are just going to be using a blanket and a block tonight in a very usual setup. We'll be getting into some hip and leg opening stretches and shapes today. So that said, we'll get started on our backs. That's my favorite starting shape for class. And you can choose what this looks like. Maybe you send legs out long, arms out wide, traditional Shavasana. Maybe bending at the knees, planting the soles of the feet on the floor, and allowing the knees to fall in towards one another. Maybe allowing the hands to rest on the body. Taking whatever position feels right in your body today. And then as you're ready, letting the eyes fall closed. And just taking a moment to start to feel the breath moving in and out of the body as you inhale and exhale. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to bring one or both hands to the belly. And as you breathe, feeling the rise and fall, the natural rhythm of your inhales and exhales. Noticing where the body connects to the floor beneath you. Noticing what it feels like. And start to bring some intentional depth and length into the breath. Beginning by inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then starting to breathe in to a count of 4 and out to a count of 4. Equalizing the inhales and exhales. And smoothing out the transition at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Next, if you haven't already done so, we'll swing the legs out long. And the full leg come down to the floor. And then we'll just start to gently rock the legs side to side. Feeling the hip sockets get kind of gently woken up and wiggled around a little bit. And then we'll bring feet to plant on the floor, knees facing up towards the ceiling to start. And then just start to take some slow twists, windshield wiping the knees from one side to the other. Blinking the eyes open whenever you are ready. Maybe letting the arms fall out to a T. And then maybe starting to bring the head and neck into the twist, keeping the gaze opposite the knees as you move from one side to the other. Next time the knees fall over to the left, we'll pause. Stay here. Maybe letting the gaze fall over towards the right hand. Making a gentle supine twist and to wake the spine. And then on an inhale, drawing knees and gaze back through center. Exhaling to let knees fall over to the right. Gaze towards left fingertips. With an inhale, coming back through center. Exhale. Deep inhale, we'll stretch fingertips and toes long, taking a full body stretch. And then exhale to curl to either side. And we'll press up to a seated position. Moving on. Set up our comfortable seat. We'll be here for a few minutes, so if you like to have something to elevate your hips, go ahead and set that up now. A folded blanket works very nicely. Once we've found our tall seat, we'll interlace fingers, pressing palms away from us. And then inhale, we'll bring those interlaced fingers up overhead, squeezing shoulder blades together, reaching along through the crown of the head. And then exhale to draw them back out in front of us, rounding the spine, pulling the shoulder blades apart, creating a cat back. Inhale to lift, lengthen, reach through the crown of the head, shoulder blades squeeze. And exhale to round forward. Let's take this a few more times on our own. Feeling the shoulder sockets moving around. Okay, and the next time you'll have hands up overhead, we'll pause here, and then on an exhale, we'll reach over to the right, opening through the left side body, left shoulder socket. Inhale to center, and then exhale over to the left. Inhaling to come to center, exhale to the right, inhale to center, and exhale to the left. We'll just do this a few more times, and if it's a little too much to hold on to those interlaced fingers, you can just release that and let fingertips reach up towards the sky. Trying to get intention on the side body opening here. And take one more round through each side. And exhale to release. Let hands fall towards thighs or knees, and then we'll just take some rolls with the shoulders and neck. Kind of doing whatever feels natural. Taking some rolls or rocking with the head. Shaking the head yes and no. Just working on any stickiness in the neck and shoulder muscles. And we've had enough of that. We'll come back to neutral. And we'll uncross our legs. And we'll keep our left leg in on the floor. And then right leg will come knee bent, heel planted on the floor. And then we're going to interlace fingers around the ball of the right foot here. Okay. I'm starting in this kind of scrunched up position with the knee bent. We'll inhale, keeping the spine nice and long. And then we'll exhale to start to press that heel away from us, straightening the knee. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to straighten. Kind of folding the upper body over the right leg as we do this. Doing this a few more times, you might notice that you can get a little bit deeper into that straight knee and hold over the leg each time. Go ahead and take this motion as many times as you want, and whenever you feel ready, we're going to pause at the bottom with that knee straight and hold in a single leg forward fold. Maybe releasing hands to either side of that leg or keeping them connected to the foot. You want to place some kind of support under the knee. If you can't straighten that leg completely, that might feel nice. And just letting the upper body fold forward. Crown of the head can start to reach towards the floor. Take one more breath here. And then pressing through palms, starting to walk back up to that tall seat. And then drawing that right leg in, we'll take the left leg uncrossed heel, still connected to the floor, and then interlacing fingers around the ball of the left foot. Starting with a nice tall spine, reaching through the crown of the head. We'll exhale to start to straighten the left knee, hinging forward. Pulling that foot back in, and exhaling to let it come out. Same thing as we did on the first side. Moving through this a few times, starting to open up the back of that right leg, or left leg. This works well if you have socks on and a wood floor, but if you don't have that, you can put a blanket under your heel, or you can just lift it and just step it out, pull it back in. That works too. And then again, as you're ready, after you've taken as many rounds of this in and out motion as you want, we'll pause with the leg outstretched and hold our forward fold. Let's take one more full breath on this side. And then with an inhale, pressing once again into palms. Walking back up to a tall seat, recrossing the legs, and then staying in our seat here, we're going to move into a fire log pose. So we'll start with the right leg, uncrossing it and stacking the right shin over left, flexing those right toes back towards the knee. And sitting up nice and tall. This might be where you stay. Might already be starting to feel this in the outer right hip. If you want to deepen the intensity a little bit, you can start to hinge forward from the hips as far as is comfortable. And then maybe start to round the spine down towards the earth, setting up a block to rest the head on. Might feel good, or you can just let the weight of the head hang. Finding a shape you want to hang out in for several breaths here, but also knowing you're free to come in and out of whatever depth you've chosen. If you want to back off a little bit, or if you want to push a little bit further into the stretch at any point, you're always welcome to do that. And preparing to come out of this, if you folded forward, plant the palms, and start to press back up to that seat. Pausing for a moment, just letting the spine reset and the blood pressure reset in the head. And we'll uncross the legs. We'll send both feet out long for a moment and just take that little hip rock side to side again. Just letting the blood flow. Come back in. Get a little bit of compression in that bottom leg. So feel good to just let that reset. And then we'll recross, this time stacking left shin on top. I'm going to flex those toes. Starting with a neutral spine. Taking a nice deep inhale. And then exhaling to start to hinge forward. If you want to move into a deeper stretch. letting the spine start to curl, crown of the head falling towards the earth. And choosing how deep you go. Side might feel different than the first side. Might be a little bit more open or a little bit more tight from one side to the other. I can tell that I am. Just being okay with that, finding that edge on each side and working with it. Sending the breath into the outer left hip. Take one more breath here, wherever you are. And then if you folded forward, starting to use the hands to press back up tall. Taking a moment to reset the spine and then releasing those legs out long once again. And just rocking the hips out. Circling out the ankles. All right, and then as you're ready, we'll recross legs just briefly so that we can rock forward to all fours. And then make our way onto our bellies. From here, we'll start propped up on forearms just to get set up. We're gonna bend the right knee, bringing that heel kind of in towards our butt. And then we'll bring the left forearm parallel to the top of the mat, kind of the support. And then we're going to reach back with the right hand. And grab that foot and start to pull the heel in closer to the thigh, going for a quad stretch here. And we can start to bring our shoulders back square towards the front of the mat. Then we can just bring the forehead down to rest on that left arm. You can bring your cheek down to the mat. Just finding somewhere that's comfortable to hang out for a little bit while we're kind of actively pulling that right heel in. You can just allow the upper body to relax. Take another full breath on this side. And then as you exhale, releasing that right foot. And then starting to switch out the arms, so bringing that right forearm parallel to the top of the mat, and you may have to press up, bringing the chest away from the floor a little bit just to get into this. And then starting to draw that left heel in towards the thigh, setting up, and then allowing the upper body to fall towards the floor. Using the left hand to hug that foot in close. Feeling an opening through the left quad, top of the thigh. And we'll take another full breath here. And then as you exhale, releasing left foot back down. Coming back to center. And here we'll send the right arm out to a T. Left palm can plant right under the shoulder. And then we're going to start to roll onto the right side, coming into this shoulder opening position. The top leg can pop up and over like a kickstand to support. But you can just keep it kind of stacked or straightened out, tossed over. And finding that edge once again and kind of playing around with it. Taking one more deep breath and exhaling to roll back onto the belly, coming off of that right shoulder. And setting up our second side. Bringing left arm out to a T, and then starting to roll onto the left side of the body. Using that top leg for support wherever feels best. Continuing to breathe fully, deeply. One last breath here. And your exhale will draw you back onto the belly, releasing that left shoulder. From here, we'll be moving into our final resting shape. And you have the option to stay on your belly and take a crocodile pose for Shavasana today, since that's where we already are. We can stack forearms or hands on top of one another, resting the forehead against that support. And just allowing the legs to relax. Heels can fall out towards the outer edges of the mat. But if you want to move into a different shape, for your Shavasana. You can start to do so now, maybe rolling onto the back, taking a traditional legs out long, arms out, or whatever other shape feels best to you today. Whatever you choose, settling in into stillness, allowing the whole physical body to relax and let go of holding on to anything. Letting the eyes fall closed. And simply feeling yourself held up by the earth. Start to deepen the breath, bringing some energy and fullness back into the inhales and exhales. Making some small movements in the fingers and toes, trying to circle out wrists and ankles. And we'll take that gentle rocking motion in the legs, once again letting the legs sway from side to side. Rocking out the hip joints. And then letting that go, inhaling to reach arms overhead, toes reach long, full body stretch. And then exhale to curl over to one side or the other. Doesn't matter which one. And as you're ready, pressing back up into seated position, keeping the eyes closed. Letting the hands fall to the thighs or knees, or rest in the lap. We'll take a collective breath together to seal out our practice. Exhaling all the air out of the lungs, squeezing the belly, and drawing a deep inhale through the nose, completely filling belly, ribs, and chest. And exhaling out the mouth, audible sigh. Bringing the palms to cup over the eyes. We'll gently blink eyelids open. Then let hands fall to prayer position at heart center. Bowing forward. Namaste. All right, happy Friday. Thanks for sharing practice with me, everybody. See you next week.